Morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. And we got an exciting project that's been long overdue here today, and I'm really excited to dive into it. We went over it a little tiny bit in the last video, but today it's finally a long time coming for this project. On the lift, you see, we have a 1965 Bolens Husky 1000. So let me tell you a little bit of backstory on this old girl. Now, this is a 1 year only tractor. They made a 600, an 800, and a 900 respectively before this with this same style hood. Little bit different. Not a whole lot changed on them. Some had a straight 3-speed. And the others have the high and low range like this one got. It has a high and low range, and it's got your direct 3-speed. I can't remember which ones had the 3-speed. I think it was the 600 and the 800 had a straight 3-speed, and the 900 and the 1000 had the high and low range. This was the predecessor to the 1050, which ran for a numerous bunch of years. And many tube frames came off of this, the later ones with the different tin work, more square hoods. I am not a Bolens historian by any means. I know just enough to get in trouble. The Fords are more of my thing, but this was the garden tractor that started my sickness and the whole thing. Even though the Montgomery Ward really started it, this induced it when I got when I received this tractor, not this one in particular, but this one from my uncle back when I think I was like 12 or 13 years old. So the history of why this is important to me, it's not that super rare of a tractor or collectible or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have it's pretty crude actually when it comes to garden tractors, believe it or not. But a good reliable piece of equipment nonetheless. So I received this tractor from my Uncle Delmer back in when I was 12 or 13, so that puts it back in 1993. And it came with a motor deck and a snow blade. And I used that tractor to make money plowing snow during the great big snowstorm in 1993 in April, if anybody remembers that, back in western Pennsylvania. We got like 4 feet of snow. Everything was shut down for like a week. So I made a lot of money with that old girl. It was rough, but she did a good job. And as years go on, family, marriage, I kept the tractor all those years, but then I discovered the transmission was bad. The axle tubes was worn out and into the bearings and everything else. So I ended up buying another tractor to fix that one. And then, well, times get tough, like we all know, in certain parts and periods of your life, and I ended up selling that tractor. I kept a lot of the original work, tin work and stuff off of mine, which I still have in a shed, which I'm going to use on this one. So I sold that tractor, and I wish I wouldn't have, but it started the whole craze. It started my whole business work because I always bought and sold and everything else. So you have every intent of keeping them, but then someone offers you a price or you end up selling them. And me and my wife just had this discussion literally yesterday about how comes everyone you restore you end up selling. Well, I said some of them I'm going to, now that the business is closed, some of them I'm going to start keeping, and this is the way it's going to be. So we're going to dive into this old girl, and good Lord, it's been a long time since I worked on one of these. Wow, and I don't think that's the correct starter generator either. For some reason, I think that is, yeah, it's supposed to come all the way to here. Now, if it works and start and charges, I don't care. Maybe eventually I'll find one, the correct one. That's an easy thing to fix. But I know the clutch disengages. I pulled the nut all the way out. I disconnected the hub with the pin on the other side. Yeah, you sort of see this pin right back here where my finger's at. That actually rotates down into that hole there, and that's your posi lock or free wheel lock, whatever the Bolens guys want to call it. I don't know the technical terms. But we're going to go through it. I got a better steering wheel off my original tractor for that, and dash, and the hood. I don't know if this one's any better or the one I got's better, but yeah, we're going to dive into this guy today and see if we can't at least get spark. I know that carburetor's probably junk, but I'm going to have to order a rebuild kit and all that stuff. And I know I got a couple buddies on Facebook that are Bolens guys, and see if I can't get a points cover and some stuff like that. So one of the neat things that's going back on this tractor, eventually I'm going to repaint this. I would assume so. I'm going to repaint it. And I'm going to have a nice two-tone original red Bolens seat to go with it. I'm going to fix all the fiberglass, as you can see, and all that good stuff. But the original thing I'm going to put back on it when I was a kid is the original air cleaner, and I saved it for all these years. Do not know why, but yeah. When you're a dorky 13-year-old, you know, when you're a big Dale Earnhardt fan, you literally plaster that stuff on everything. So I'm going to keep it on there. Oh, yeah, I was also a John Force fan, as you can see from the Castrol GTX sticker. So I'm going to keep that, throw that back on. The rest of it I want to paint, just for a little bit of that nostalgia that I always talk about. But, yeah, it's a pretty nice tractor. It's like all original, though. It's got the original tag on it. Looks like someone repainted the hood and got all stickers all over it. So I'm going to have to probably get... The last time I repainted this, well, not this one, but a tractor, another Bolens 1000 like 10, 15 years ago, and I did the last one. Nobody makes a sticker, so I have to go out to a special decal, my decal guy, and have them made. So I'll probably end up taking this hood out and sending it over to him and having him make me some decals and all that stuff. So that'll be fun. But like I said, in the end, it all works out. So other than that, it's pretty cool. Yeah, typical mouse house. I don't know what kind of seat they got on this. Looks like an old boat seat or something. I don't know. I'll have to get a new seat for that made. But I'm excited. It looks like there's a new on and off switch. We'll have to see if that really is hooked up or whatever. But okay, cool. Let's dive into this thing. See if we can. I did get a battery, so we can see if we can get at least spark and it turns over. I know the motor is free, but let's see if it'll turn over and get some spark, and then we'll continue on with everything else. Okay, so as you can see, we've got some spaghetti in there that we have to get rid of. Got my new battery, and where's my cable? I have brand new. Oh, here we go. Sorry about the do-si-do. I got some brand new battery cables to put in there. So let's get that all going and see if we can't get this thing to fire up, or at least start and turn over. As you can see, got the battery out. I got my ground cable on over there. I'm going to take this off. What's neat about these tractors are very simple. There's not a lot of electric on them, not a lot of wiring. It's it's like a magneto type of coil off the flywheel, so it's just like a kill switch type deal for the off and on. So it's like your push mower lawnmower. You know, you just it'll start, and then you actually the key actually grounds the ignition, which is pretty cool. So it's just very simple. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I don't know what the availability on all these parts are for these. They were slim pickings back in the 90s when I did it as a kid. You can only imagine what they're like now. So we'll get this all buttoned back up and continue on. Alrighty, got my battery hooked up and cables hooked up. Like I was saying, it's pretty simple. I would assume you take key. I'm going to try putting the key to on and turn to neutral and hit the go button. Oh, look at that. Oh, that makes me a happy camper. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Woo! Now, well, that makes me happy. I guess I should have checked the oil first, but I guess there ain't getting no spark anyhow. It ain't going to run. There ain't no fuel in it. But let's check the oil in it. Oh, yeah. We're good. It's got some in it. We'll have to do a change on it. Boy, that dipstick don't look too good now, does it? We'll have to JB weld that guy. Because that'll come right up. We'll have to JB weld that guy. That'll come back up. I'm sure you can't get that. All right. I guess we're going to clean some points and see if we can get some sparky out of this guy. And I don't know if I'm going to have to take all these linkages off for now. I think all my throttle cables are all stuck, and yeah, nothing wants to move. Yeah, these are plastic, and these are very, very fragile, so I'm not going to end up horsing them too much. I think I'll just disconnect the cables, and if we do decide to put fuel to it, we'll just try to run her in manual. So, alright, bear with me. We'll get some emery cloth there and clean them points up. Okay, got a little bit of emery cloth here. Pull my points out, see if I can't get down in there and clean. I'm sure the contacts are boogered up. I guarantee that. So I need to get me one of them fingernail files for this. It'd make life a lot easier. Next time I'm at Wally World, I have to have the wife pick some up. She'll be like, what do you need fingernail files for? Emery boards is actually what they're called. This is emery cloth. But we call them fingernail files, right? Because that's what we're mostly using them for. I know I was saying before that I don't know what's available and what's not with these. And I know there's a gentleman on Facebook, I think his name's Brian Bolens. And I know he has some parts. He has a website and stuff. So I'm going to reach out to that feller. And I definitely need a Wisconsin gasket and a Wisconsin points cover because I don't want this stuff being exposed. It's a shame that it's missing. So, a little bit of emery cloth, a little bit of electronic cleaner. Clean the residue up, then I take a piece of cardboard or paper and get down in there as well. Let me tell you, this one's a little bugger to get to. I'm used to them Kohlers, which is pretty much wide open. And these, not so much. Alright, so we got it clean. Shut the light off. Let's see if we can't get some spark out of it. I don't know if it's going to spark or not. Oh, Nelly, we got spark. Not great spark, but we got spark. Oh, mercy sakes. We're getting it. This is exciting, folks. Maybe the old Bolens will come to life. Alright, let's get a spark. Take that spark plug out there and make sure it's good, and we'll continue on. Okay, folks, I cleaned my spark plug up. I did blow some mouse houses out of it. Hopefully you can see on the camera. Here, maybe if I can move it over here. I guess that's sparky. Oh yeah, we got all kinds of sparky there. Shut the key off. No sparky. All right. That's awesome. Okay, so I got cables off. I loosened this up, this snorkel where the air cleaner sits. We're going to pull that off. This way I can get in there and see what the inside of that carburetor looks like. Actually, don't look too bad. Cool. Throttle all works off the governor. So that's a good thing. Take this thing off. and see what this looks like inside there. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. Oof, 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 oof. Uh-oh. That's pretty gross, Raggy. Probably have to clean that all up. Maybe I'll squirt some carburetor cleaner in there. But ooh, that's all crusty and rusty in there. I have a feeling, folks, that this thing probably will run off of starting fluid, but as crusty and as rusty as that is in there, I don't know if I can get the camera in there to show you. See, guys, you can't really get in there and see. Well, whatever. It's crusty and rusty in this hole here, so that tells me it's crusty and rusty in the whole bowl area. So I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get this old girl fired up today without tearing it apart and rebuilding the carb. So I am going to tear it apart and see how bad it is, and if I could save the gaskets and clean the stuff up, maybe I'll just slap it back together. Well, I sort of figured it. I'm just happy I've got this far with the spark and everything else. So I guess we'll get the wheel draining and we'll tear that carburetor off. Cool. All right, folks. I have to admit, this is probably the first time, or maybe I tore into one of these a long time ago, but I can't think it's too much difficult for many other carburetor I've torn apart of this vintage. But that don't look bad. I think that'd probably be the high speed. I'm not sure. Definitely gotta tear this whole thing apart and see what the dealio is. Well, I just oh, there we go. Needs a little bit of persuasion. Remember, any tool can be the right tool. There we go. Oh, good Lord. Easy, gasket. Easy. Easy, buddy. Take it easy. Calm down. There we go. Trying to save you. Woohoo! Oh yeah, that's crusty and rusty inside. Oof. Oof. Oh yeah, everything's just. Oh man. Yeah, this may be a. The floats are stock. Ugh. Okay, well, I figured that. So, oh, everything's rusty and crusty. Oh man. Oh man, this thing would even begin to. It probably would have ran on starting fluid, but it definitely would not have ran on fuel. Oh man, things are all golded in there. Alright, this is actually several days later on this to finish up this carburetor build, and I got my kit in the mail yesterday, and it is a ZENITH instruction sheet. It's a ZENITH carburetor. I got all comes with a nice instruction sheet. Ordered it, and I also ordered a float, and this came from let's see here. Oh, there it is. Steiner Tractor. And like I said, anybody can order parts from this one. These people, and you get some candy cowtails and all that stuff. And the wife seems to like that place because she got candy. And actually, when we sold parts, we did the same thing. We gave candy, so must be a pretty good company. So anyhow, let's get back to this rebuilding this carburetor on this old girl and getting it on the Bolens and getting it all set up. So get the old camera going here and make sure you guys don't fall and do the best I can. We're gonna see what we can come up with. So anyhow, I made my concoction and I soaked my carburetor in that, and it's all, I don't know, it's nice and clean here. So we'll start reassembly here, and hopefully everything works out all just hunky-dory with it. So that's exciting. Put our Venturi tube back in, I believe. But first, let's see here. I gotta put my, I guess this is the high-speed needle float. I gotta find, here's a new gasket for it. Perfect. So everything's here, and they give you everything, which is really cool. Emulsion tube. That's what that would be. Emulsion tube. So that goes in there like that. So we can see. That goes down in there like that. Get some. There we go. That goes down in there. Tighten that up. I really need to get a GoPro. I had one and, well, yeah. Anyhow. Alright. So then this little guy here goes in here. Like that. And what's nice about this instruction sheet, it gives you an exploded view of the carburetor, which is really, really cool. So, yeah, I'm digging that. Now, I'm sure each one of these carburetors are a little different and everything. So I got my emulsion tube in. Don't know what that little guy's called. It goes back in, and I know this thing goes in here like this. Yep, just like that. I think. Yep, just like that. That goes in there like that. And then I got 27A, which is this guy, which they give me, I'm pretty sure they give me, this one's, they give me a new one of these, or do they just give me the new, yeah, I believe I get a new one of these. Yep, or a new O-ring. And this would probably be your jet. Now this is going to be an O-ring. Now which one of that goes on there? Because that's your needle and seat. What O-ring? That's a good one. Good question there. They're calling it a main it's a plug, or 27A, which is your main jet. So they just call this a main jet, which makes sense to me. Alright, so that's going to go back in there. if it fits in there more better. Oh, that's way, but I should have done that first. What the heck? What was I thinking? Right. Sometimes I wonder about myself, folks. But that's how you learn, I reckon. See if I can get this off an angle down in there without screwing up. Yep, we did. Yay! Right. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with Crisco. And that bugger should slip right down on there now. And it was a bugger to get out of there. Oh, this is what I didn't want to do, is move that float. Alright, so there's that. Stay happy there, stay happy. Here we go. Okay, now it still doesn't feel quite like it should. It still feels like it's hitting something. I don't know what. Unless, if you know what, I bet I have to hog out that gasket. I bet I have to hog out that gasket to get that around. You wouldn't think I'd have to do that. You would think that gasket would go right on there. But it's not letting it sit flush. It's not letting it sit flush. That has to go there. Alright. Let's take a break. We'll trim it out and go from there. Okay, so I did trim up the gasket with a knife. Not the prettiest, but now it fits around what I need it to fit around, and it doesn't jeopardize anything else. So we're going to try it again. That's the way that goes. So we're going to try it again. Put that all up through there. That was going to go like this. Right, so that goes like this. So I can make sure I put my gasket on the right way. And I put my float in. Yeah, I just find that odd. You think they would have had all the gaskets they give you, and none of them are big for that. I guess it's a Venturi is what I would call it. That's what it is a Venturi tube. So, I find that interesting. But, you know what? Zenith made how many carburetors that were so similar and just a little bit off? I mean, gotta think about that. So. I'm not that worried about putting a new one in. It'd be different if it leaked out of there. I'd be like, yeah, and I have them. So then I would put one in. But I've never, ever really messed with them too much. So we bottomed this out. Again, 1. We'll go 2 and call it done on that. Okay, so that pretty much got that done. There is a plug. Ooh, I got to clean this plug up. And in this elbow, I got to clean my elbow up. The elbow goes on this side, or I guess you could put it in this side too. Either way, it doesn't matter. So maybe I'll do this, because let's see, we got to run, before we get crazy, you're supposed to run fuel line. Here's where I gotta put a new bulb in my tank. I think the fuel line runs through here, and you can't see, but it goes in between the flywheel and the cylinder jug, which a lot of them, these engines did that. Kohlers did them too. And then it would pop out here and run over to the carburetor. Or the guy previous had it ran around back. He had it running around back and into the back. And I do got new points too coming. They're just not. They're not here yet. I got a set of points coming for this as well. So even though these ones are good, I'm going to put new points on it too. While I have everything apart and a points cover. I think they are coming from Sam's Bolens. I think it's Sam's Bolens. So I guess we'll have to get a light down in there and see how we want to attack it. Do we want to run a fuel line out through there? Yeah, can we see in there? Can we see? Can I get you guys down there enough? You can see. I don't like putting a fuel line up against a cylinder jug. I don't know. I just don't. That's probably the way it should be originally. Get down in there. Let me figure it out and go from there. Alright, and that'll do it for that. Everything's all happy, hunky-dory. I was missing this screw, the idle screw, so that will stops your throttle plate, right? And that allows you to have the gap by adjusting this screw. It was missing, so I tapped it and put a new one in. Other than that, I got this guy here. Well, that's like a brand new gasket on there. And then I got a gasket. I got a gasket for there for the intake. This gasket would go here. We're going to clean this, take this one off. This one's pretty crusty. We're going to go clean this up real quick. Throw a new gasket on it. Bolt that up. Okay. Got our intake manifold all cleaned up. I guess this is for the nitrous oxide when you go drag racing. Ha 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 ha. It's a joke, folks. Anyhow, put this guy back on. This guy back on. How tight's tight? Well, you're going into aluminum, so don't get carried away with it, that's for sure. Snug, I guess, right? You don't want to kill it. Okay. Well, there you go, folks. There's a rebuilt Zenith carburetor for on a Wisconsin engine. So, yeehaw. In fact, you know what? Did you see what my dummy? I put it on backwards. You big dummy. No, we're leaving that in the film. Not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. Thinking, well, that don't look right. How about we do it this way? Oh, no, we're getting somewhere. All right. Oh, that looks more gooder now. Ooh, much more gooder. remember as a kid, the paint is like a GM color, Cordovan brown, I believe. You can see a little bit of it left, but now I can officially say it's ready. So now we're ready for an install. Okay, so we got our gasket surface here on the intake cleaned up, emery cloth, all that good stuff. And you see me using multiple products on here. I'm not affiliated with anybody, as you guys know, but I always use different products for different applications. Now this stuff is like a high tack that I use, and it is like a gasket sealer, but it's really thin and you brush it on, and it's tacky so it can hold your gaskets in place. Now I use that on certain applications depending on what I'm doing. Especially I'll use this or another type of Permatex gasket sealer for like water pumps and whatnot that you have to hold the gasket in place while you're waiting for it to, in fact, we'll do both sides here. And so it's a sealer and it's a sealer and a glue type thing. I can't call it a glue, but it's tacky enough where it holds the gasket in place where you want it. And that comes if you work on water pumps on your car or truck, whether it's GM, Ford, or Dodge. Sometimes gaskets don't want to stay in place, and this helps out a lot. You let it sit, and I don't really let it sit too long, but you can let it sit if you have to, and it'll hold it in place till you're ready. So I don't use 100% silicone. 100% silicone shrinks, contracts, it leaks. Never had luck with 100% silicone on anything water applied, such as water pumps or none of that. I've never had a problem with this stuff, Permatex sealer, the other type of form of gasket, so to speak, but I've never used 100% silicone on any of that. I've always let. Okay, fuel's on. I don't know how this is going to play out. I've got screwdrivers ready. Need a 5/16 wrench to tighten that one main jet up. Nothing leaking yet, folks. Nothing leaking yet. So that fuel line run. I say we go and hit the start button. Let's see what she does. You can give her a little bit of juice here. And key on and let her rip. Tater jet. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. That means she's sparky. Before I get too crazy, some pepper can mufflers are not the quietest. Earplugs, and that thing's right there, so.
How easy that thing started. I've never had anything sitting that long starting that easy.
I have never been so stoked working on a lawn and garden tractor in all my life. One, it's my childhood tractor, and two, it just turned over and hit like if it was only sitting for a week. I've never had that whoever had this tractor before, kudos to you for taking care of it all these years. No smoke, no knocks, no nothing. That Wisconsin just is freaking awesome. The clutch won't disengage. I mean, it disengages, but the clutch brake is not stopping the drive shaft to put it in and out of gear. So I'm not going to get too much. I'll get into maybe not that today, but whenever. I'm just happy the dang thing runs. I don't know if it charges. I checked the regulator and all that stuff, but holy crap. Like, holy moly. I am stoked. Like, this is an exciting day. Like, I know it's just a tractor, blah, 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 but oh my goodness, I am so stoked on this. Like, I cannot believe my old Bolens, not the original one I had, but a Bolens like the one I had. I'm excited about it. So, anyhow, that's cool. And no, you seen that firsthand. That I didn't have this running before. Honest to God, I did not. It actually came, the tractor come from Wisconsin. I had a guy deliver it. I wasn't even here. I was at work. He dropped it off. I PayPal'd him and stuff, all that. This was like, oh, this had to be 4, 5, 6 years. Sorry, folks. I lost the content, battery died or something on that last part of the video. When I was editing it, I went through and said, where's the rest of it? So this is like several days later. So we're going to finish that Bolens video up. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for subscribing, hit the like button, the comments, everything. I do appreciate all of it. And we'll continue to do a couple more projects. I actually just bought an engine, an 18 or 17 horsepower Magnum Twin Kohler. So we're got a neat upcoming project for that we're going to get into this year, and the Ford LGT 145 and Montgomery Ward. All that's coming this hopefully this summer into fall and winter and all that stuff. So, and a couple more projects too. So we're going to get into replacing that cylinder on that GT12 on the snowblower tractor. So that'll be a good one for all you people out there who want to, how do you pull them cylinders off? So we're going to do a little video on that as well. So, all right, folks, I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.